Haere mai ki Turangawaewae Marae, ki te rā nehu a Kingi Tuheitia, Potatau, te Wherowhero, te Tuheitia. Kia ora, good evening. The king is gone and Aotearoa has a new queen. A day of great sorrow but also celebration as Kuini Ngā Wai was crowned a new Maori monarch. Her first task, perhaps one of the hardest, accompanying her father on his final journey, taken down the Waikato River with a fleet of 4 waka to Taupiri for burial. Thousands lining the streets and on the riverbanks to witness the traditional ceremonies. Right now at the marae, they're packing down after the week-long tangi hanga, many hands making light work. We have extensive coverage for you tonight with our One News team in Waikato. In a moment, we hear what it meant to mourners who travelled from far and wide to be here, and the role of the new Queenie. But first, Māori Affairs reporter Te Aniwahura Hanganui on a moving day.
After days of mourning, the gruelling last steps, Tainui's sacred maunga stood waiting. Kingi Tuheitia's beloved rugby league clubs are the pallbearers bearing the weight of grief, carrying a king who carried the Kiingitanga. But his final journey began back at Turangawaewae.
Hey Queenie! Hey Queenie!
As the new monarch was revealed.
Ko te ariki nui, Kuini Ngā Wai hono I te pō.
The king's daughter and youngest child.
The Queenie, the youngest monarch, being anointed to service.
But it's the king's service that's brought many here today. Outside they waited in their thousands. A guard of honour from the Defence Force and final farewell from the king's descendants. While the waka were getting ready on the water, the people reflected on their grief.
How can you say, e tangi ana te wairua? My spirit cries. How can you say, e ti hai ana te tarauna? The very heart of my heart is being ripped. That wairua, that spirit, has permeated these last 7 days.
As the hearse made the slow procession towards the water's edge, his mourners were standing ready.
We are waiting for the waka to come down the awa and go up to Taupiri and be a part of today with everybody.
To see part of history pass beneath them.
Oh, sad, that's all I can. But it's, in a way, it's brought us together even stronger, I think.
The king guided by a 4 waka fleet, Tātahiora carrying him along the river, the new queen with him. The waters of the Waikato gently delivering him to the base of his maunga, Taupiri maunga, step by slow step, carried to the mountaintop to be with his mother, his father, and the very first Maori king. Kiingi Tuheitia, Potatau, te Wherowhero, te Tuawhitu, now resting with his tupuna, e te Kingi, moi maira.
We'll bring in Te Anua now. All week, Te Anua, people have been talking about Kingi Tuheitia's message of unity. Was that on display today?
Well, that's right, Melissa. Kingi Tuheitia's enduring hope was for Tuheitia. He wanted the Maori people and the nation as a whole to set aside their differences and come together, and that was absolutely on display today everywhere you looked. I spent most of the day on the bridge overlooking the Waikato River, and it was just incredible seeing the number of people who came out to farewell the king. The riverbanks on both sides were full. I met families who left Otaki at 3 a.m. to be here, kaumātua who spent hours on buses. I even saw people travel here by horseback. Organisers have told me that there were 20,000 people in and around the marae alone. That's not including the crowds further up the Waikato River or around Taupiri, and that is a testament to the mana of a king who loved his people, who served his people, and whose legacy will live on.
Yeah, a remarkable crowd to be in. Thank you very much, Te Anawa, kia ora. The youngest child and only daughter of Kingi Tuheitia is now the new leader of the Kiingitanga movement. Te Kuini Ngā Wai is the 8th Maori monarch and is just 27 years old. She has a passion for kapahaka and already has experience representing her people. Political editor Mikey Sherman has more.
The most stirring of welcomes, ending what was great anticipation. At exactly 10 this morning, the 8th Maori monarch emerged to a thunderous reception. At 27 years old, she's a particularly young monarch.
Kuini Ngā Wai
Just so proud to bear witness to this.
It's a day of celebration and sadness as the new queen sat next to her father's coffin.
Hey Queenie! Hey Queenie!
Te whakawahinga, the raising up ceremony, begins with the same Bible used for the first king in 1858.
What we've just witnessed was an incredible moment.
Then sacred oils, and Ngā Wai Honoi Te Pō is officially anointed.
Queen Ngā Wai Honoi Te Pō.
Absorbing the moment, she sat where her grandmother once did as queen, now only the second woman to lead the Kiingitanga movement.
I've always looked at her and thought she was made for this. Koia te rā, koia te kuini. Kia tahua.
An outpouring of love.
You need a hug? Who's the guy? You need a hug?
Thousands upon thousands gathered to get a glimpse of Te Kuini, Defence Force personnel in prime position with plenty of phones at the ready. Te Makau Ariki accompanying her husband on his final journey as their daughter followed behind, signalling hers would be a reign for the generations.
She was one of our main tutors for kapahaka ex-parikiro rākaumanga, so she had quite a strong connection with our hunga taiaohi.
I'm just so inspired by her grace and the dignity with which she holds herself with, and am keen to be led by her.
Ngā Wai Honoi Te Pō was head girl at Te Wharekura o Rākaumanga in Huntly. With a Masters of Arts from Waikato University, she's passionate about kapahaka. In recent years, serving in governance roles representing the Kiingitanga.
It's certainly a big job, isn't it? Yep, sure is. And I think she's going to do really awesome. Oh, I think there's a new uprising for Māori.
An uprising with a new Queenie to lead the way.
If we come together.
Kia ora, Mikey. What do you think we can expect from her reign?
Tēnā tātou katoa I tēnei pō. Kuini Ngā Wai Hono I Te Pō really represents something quite exciting for this generation of Māori. She is Indigenous, she is young, she is a woman, and she is fluent in te reo Māori. And the Māori language really has a place of prominence across Aotearoa and amongst the Māori people at this time. Ngā Wai Hono I Te Pō is also a graduate of the Total Immersion Māori Language schooling systems of Kohanga Reo reo and kura kaupapa Māori, the generation that really is taking on the world. We've seen that with the Queen's relation, Hana Rāwhiti Maipi Clark as the youngest MP in Parliament, and now Kuini Ngā Wai Honoi Te Pō is taking on the role of the Māori monarch as a symbol of hope and aspiration for her people.
Mikey, what about challenges? What do you think she may face in that way?
Well, certainly her youth will be a challenge for her in some respects, particularly convincing those more senior Māori tribal leaders across the country, particularly male, that she can fulfil the role that she has been given. And that will be something that she will be aware of, but it's something that she will have plenty of support in. She has, of course, behind her a tribe, Waikato, that is a powerhouse, not only worth $2.4 billion, but we've seen the way in which they host and care for people here at Turangawaewae Marae this week with precision and with calmness. And so she will have that backing behind her, but certainly fostering those relationships with tribes across the country will need to be a focus, as well as spending time with her own people who would absolutely love that.
Tēnei te mihi atu. Thank you very much, Political Editor Mikey Sherman. Very humbling, very honoured. That's the thought of one worker given the opportunity to participate in today's proceedings. His job to take mourners on a specially laid-on train that went from Hamilton to the very heart of the day. Yvonne Tahana joined them on their journey.
Swathed in black,
those that have walking sticks, come first.
Kaumātua preparing to embark on a spiritual journey. To farewell their king.
Just the ihi mana, yeah. Just felt, just the mamae and all that.
A bittersweet day for the elders.
In my lifetime, amazing. Rawe. Just amazing.
He loved the simple conversation with a man.
The next generation on this pilgrimage too.
Those that of you are young, can you stand for kaumātua and queer? Kia ora. Okay.
The beautiful words of E Noho Tuheitia, a song named For the King, rang through the 5 carriages filled with mourners.
Tell me, how will you feel when you're looking at the hill and the casket comes off the water, do you think?
Oh, emotional. Hopefully I get to see it actually, but definitely emotional.
Silence descending for this lament. A reminder of the tapu nature of their trip as they approach their king's final resting place.
That's where my kings lie, that's where my people are, and I'm just filled with pride.
Mourners haven't been allowed off the train as they arrived at the exact same time as their Kingi, who's now in the hands of his people. Their wait was over.
We are all one today as we farewell our king and welcome in our new queen. It's been quite a sad day, but really happy as well.
A last farewell.
Go boys, go, go.
Her tears mingled with thousands of others shared here at the sacred place, Taupiri Maunga.
And Yvonne, you were there. What was it like to be at the maunga as the king was carried up?
Well, I have to say, Melissa, that Mamai Tākere, the queer you saw in my story, what a formidable woman she is. She asked the train to be silent, and they were respectful, but it really added something to that journey as we pulled up to the bottom of the maunga. At the Urupa fence line, when she got out, her emotions were raw, they were visceral, and it really made you think. Waikato is an iwi that has let others come and mourn this last week. Today today it was finally their turn. And really, you saw the emotions let loose there. Melissa, nōku te honore nui ki te whai I tēnei tangihanga. Really an honour and a privilege to be there, Melissa.
Ngā mihi nui e hoa. Thank you very much, Yvonne. As rangatahi farewelled the King today, many spoke of their excitement to see a young monarch take to the throne. Young people have played an important role throughout the tangihanga. Isabel Prasad has more.
Young faces amongst the crowd at Turangawaewae, lining the streets and securing a prime spot along the awa to farewell their king and to witness the new queen. Cheers erupting as Te Kuini Ngā Wai I Te Pō took to the throne, those here soaking up this moment in history.
It's actually cool. It's my first time being up here at Turangawaewae.
We weren't born when, King Tuheitia was crowned.
Nice to be here at Kuini. Since the news of the King's death, rangatahi have played a crucial part in ensuring tangihanga proceedings run smoothly. Kai preparation, traffic control, rubbish collection, and of course, haka and waiata. Some also privileged to assist Kingi Tuheitia on his final haerenga.
Ka kaha ki te au, kei te kōkiri tēnei reanga, kei muri tonu iho I te Kiingitanga.
But now the Kiingitanga is under a new monarch, and at just 27 years old, she's the second youngest leader it's ever had. Once Te Kuini was welcomed onto the marae, much of the discussion turned to what a young monarch might mean for the future of the Kiingitanga and its influence.
The Queen is younger than me, so it just it inspires me to be better. That's what she does.
I hope that rangatahi, I hope they get more involved in the Maori world from now on.
Certain aspects within the Kiingitanga, she can probably make them more relatable for us rangatahi and help us understand how everything works.
Te Kuini Ngā Wai I Te Pō, now at the helm to lead the next generation. Isabel Prasad, One News.
Just ahead, the rest of the day's news, including Prime Minister